you, sir. We'll call this meeting of the Board of Parks and Recreation, April 19th, to order. And the first item on the agenda is public input. Do we have any public, anyone from the public that would like to speak? Any emails to read or?
None, we received none.
All right. Moving on to administrative matters, we have the park board minutes. Board have a chance to read those.
I'll move to approve the park board minutes.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
And the next items are the confirmation of vouchers. Reviewed them, looked in order.
I had two very quick questions on the first one, 22-4A. On the first page, advanced engineering, $4,150 for parking lot improvements.
That was soil borings at Stewart Park for the item that's on the agenda today, and also for at the pool parking lot, because we're getting ready to either pave there, probably gonna be next year, because we got to time that with school.
And then there was one for $3,500 roughly for freezer, ice machine, and reach and cooler repairs.
Yes, that was at Triple Play Cafe, right, Kevin? The Triple Play
Okay.
Cafe had
That's not,
machinery
it's
there.
not at
No, that was when we were getting ready to fire things up, getting ready for the ball field season. All right, repairs.
okay, thanks.
And I have a clarification on voucher 22-4B,
Mhm.
and it's about the Centennial Park management at $50,000.
Yes.
So I thought we adjusted it, or
We did, they had some unexpected bills come in that were not, I guess, in the records that they were expecting as they closed out with the staff that left them. And then they also had some increases in some expenses that we're all going through, some ongoing costs for product that they normally will order. So that was that normal cash support that we would give. Keep in mind, the year before, we did a lump sum at the end of the calendar year because we had the funds available. 2 years ago, we did do a normal one at this time of year. That was kind of an additional lump sum to help them get through
Right.
these first few months until golf got started too. So, and it's been, well, I mean, they normally don't do a lot of golf in January, February
Right.
anyway, but it's been even lower this year compared to last. But that was basically the support to get them through till golf
Caleb and
kicked on. Yeah, their the superintendent and the management that's out there.
Mark, what about, I saw someone in that camera security system.
Yes.
How's any vandalism? Is that really down now? I know it may pick up in the spring. Are we getting much?
We will. We have it in various different places. The cameras we put in are at the Centennial Park garage where we had none previously, and then around the pool. So those were two systems that we just put in recently, but the overall, as far as vandalism,
By community, for park?
Yeah, I mean, we get it. Typically, probably the skate park's the biggest area. I agree, Kevin, and that's the one I know. You and I were out there not too long ago and saw something on the side. We gotta go wipe it off and that kind of thing. But a
Are
little
the
bit.
cameras,
That's what I've been saying for a year.
this
Yeah.
thing helping?
Literally, what I've been
The,
saying for a
Or
year.
is this just a
Well,
deterrent?
these are just new, but I think it's gonna be more of a deterrent. But I think it'll also be where I think we also want to protect our investment at both of those locations. That you know the garage, the amount of equipment that's in that garage, and it was frequently, potentially just open to the yard and the
Right,
gate,
right.
and it's summertime. We wanted to make sure that, and the staff there was saying, all of a sudden, some general public just wandering in. So we've done the cameras there, and we also automated the gates to close that yard from coming in off of Calumet Avenue there into that yard. So those were two things that we did out at Centennial to kind of try to protect that equipment there. Plus that garage, that barn, that stuff is in, on the south side of that building, there's just like household looking windows. There's nothing there. There's someone just threw a brick through it, you're in. So this, at least if something happens now, we'll have video and hopefully.
Are we putting signs up, there being videos a little bit?
There is some warning signs that the company
And-
gave
and
us,
at
so
the
we
park.
have on that side, we have on some of the gates, and we'll be putting some of those up at the pool as well. And they also have some of the smaller stickers on doors to the
Okay.
entrances, so we'll have that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Move we approve the vouchers.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. Been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
April board report.
Yes, you have a written report in your packet, I think, and I'll kind of probably do like I did last month. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, otherwise I'll.
I did have a quick question. I was reading the various contractors and town employees associated with the landfill and gas to electric generator met earlier this month for their biannual update. We haven't had one of those in a while. We're probably due for, we usually get them quarterly, I believe, or something.
As far as what?
You know, I'm talking about the.
Yeah, the
The,
hours.
the
yeah.
generated
Yeah,
report, how
it
many
was a
hours
while,
down.
but I think I dug an old one out.
Yeah, Janice.
I think Robbie used
To do those.
I think since Rob's been gone, we haven't.
Yeah, we haven't had one in a very long time.
But I think they still,
Yeah, I'll try and see if we
Put
can
something
compare and find something together for you.
I'll look
Now
back.
about that.
and see.
Yeah, I was just curious because, we haven't seen one of those in a while, and I always think those are interesting, just to see the number of hours down.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
production.
I think one of the companies would produce that.
The clerk can get us the information off the screen.
Yeah,
You can find an old report that I put out,
yeah, I will.
something I can go by.
I'll do that.
Yeah, we'll work on getting that
Mhm,
something too.
Something, yep.
How's summer help coming? I know it's tough to,
We're doing okay. I
we still
think that
in need of certain types.
we are still, I mean, we're looking for more help on the recreation side of things. I think if we do, it'll allow us to open up some more spots for camp, which is pretty full already, and the brochure hasn't even hit homes yet, but we can put it out online. It's filling up very quickly. But as far as the pool goes, a lot of staff are coming back, so I mean,
Okay.
we've got a pretty good jump on that. I know Abby really was aggressive and kind of went after that early on, wanted to kind of lock up and get, secure the staff. It also kind of helps because some of that staff does our winter indoor lessons when we're at the high
Okay.
school, so that helps to kind of lead them in and kind of keep them in touch with us and not let them go vacate and go to someplace else that might have a different pool. That's also, though, another one is that there's just not that many competitive places they can go to anymore. I mean, unless they want to go all the way out to a deep river or to a Lake Michigan beach. There's just
Right.
not a lot of other public pools in other towns that are plucking the kids from Munster to take them or something.
On that same line, are we planning to pick up summer enrichment? Any point in the coming?
We are not, the last time that we've tried it, we didn't get, we got, I think, one employee applied for that. And that was typically basically a summer job from teachers. And that was the last time, I think that was 2 summers ago that it was last tried, and we just haven't had that success. We kind of stopped that, and if we get that luxury, we'll just add it in, not necessarily call it summer enrichment, it'll just be part of our recreational lineup. It wouldn't necessarily be its own kind of brochure and guideline of books that we would have.
Good numbers.
We always, really,
What-
yeah, we used to have really good numbers for that.
So getting
It's-
staffing,
it's-
even when Bart was still here,
Yeah,
it's very challenging to get people.
it's finding the staff. I mean, and right now, I think that the teachers, because that's usually who would instruct those, they look forward to those couple of months off. I mean, that's, that becomes their time where they need to refresh and recreate themselves.
How are we doing on card judges?
Car judges, we are definitely still looking. We are in need,
Does
so.
it this
I
weekend?
guess.
May 1st is the.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
You do?
I've done it.
I'm sorry, May
I've
7th.
done it.
May
Oh,
7th.
That's fine.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Are you doing
Depends on the weather.
it? So, no,
Out
no,
of town.
Well, I mean, those guys won't show up. It's raining.
If it's raining, the cars will be down, that's for sure.
Well, let them know they can call some of us. You know,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
be happy
do
to
it.
stand in if they still.
I've done it before.
I've done it before, Dave's done it before.
No, I plan on doing it.
Oh,
So you're doing it again.
Yeah,
so-
You can do the
You
push.
could, you could supplement your income.
With a t-shirt, take your bride. Any other comments or questions of the board report?
No.
So moving on to items for discussion, first item on the agenda is the social center deposit. So.
Yeah, I have a memo in your packet, and there's a letter from Mr. Buxell, who's here in attendance today in regards to this issue. And this is just as a brief summary, there was a rental in the social center on March 19th, and we had somewhat of a unique situation arise. The guest of the rental arrived early and entered the facility while we had a Parks and Recreation class going on, a babysitter training type of class. And we were able to still have that class, but since the guest arrived early, we applied the user agreement or the hourly rate that would normally charge for extra hours of use of the facility and took that out of the deposit. So the full normal deposit would be $250 deposit. So that's
So you charged them from 10.
we charge them from 10 to noon, adding those 2
Oh.
hours.
I was really having trouble trying to figure out where the extra 2 hours
Yes,
came in.
yes. So And we normally will do that right away on a Monday morning. You know, we'll hear our reports from our staff, whether it's at the social center or shelter rentals, and issue those refunds, and it goes through the system, and by Thursday, those checks are already being sent out. So because of that process, you know, that number was already kind of given there by the time I got involved with it a little bit. And really, by the time the looking into everything, that the class was able to be held. It did bring up some other things that we're looking to use as an instructional tool for our staff that teaches the class. That particular class was taught by a contracted instructor for us. So it's something that we brought up, and we are recommending, and because we have that user agreement, we can't authorize any more to go back to that deposit without action from you guys as a board. So we're bringing it to you and recommending that we do approve the process for the addition and refund that balance of $149.80 to the user for that particular day, would be our recommendation.
Yeah, I move we approve the recommendation, refund the rest of the refund.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye. And then,
Just as a side note here, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
oh, go ahead. Well, I was gonna ask you about the contract. I don't know that I've ever seen it before. Have we been using it?
We did, this is that user agreement that we just approved last year. So this is one of those where, you know, it will say if you're not, if you leave damage behind, if you leave trash behind, and we have to spend extra time, that we can take it out of that deposit. So I think that it was kind of rightfully thought of that way, but it also brought up something else that I think in this situation where we can say, hey, wait a minute, there's something here that we can learn from this as well, because it was something that we want to make sure and share with our instructors that are there and our staff, that, hey, we will frequently, just so you're aware, anytime that someone uses that facility, we will tell people, we get calls daily on this facility for rentals. You guys have seen them in our reports, how often it's used. People want to go and see it. We will tell people to go during our activities, during our rentals. And I think that's what the instructor initially thought, was someone walked in, oh, they're just coming in, looking around and leaving.
Yeah, that was my question, is that.
Is that what
We have
understand?
that clear defined, like, you
Yeah,
know, here come during, you're allowed so much time
And
beforehand.
the setup, when you're doing your contracted time, yeah,
Yeah.
you sign that.
So maybe make it a little bit clearer whenever they.
So,
Yeah, just not to let people into.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask.
Well,
too.
it changed.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
it's changed.
if the contract doesn't give you the discretion to do it without, on your own, you know, I mean, you shouldn't have to bring it up to us.
All right.
well, because of the refund already being sent out, the
Yeah.
clerk's office wouldn't have allowed us to issue any more of a refund. That's why I had to bring it to you here, because without you guys taking this action today, I couldn't get that approval. So now we can take this and use this to process that and use it from the minutes to use that to issue the rest
So
of the
this is a
remainder.
very
of the
unique situation.
I think that it is,
No,
it's
yeah.
one that, you know, normally we would have, I think in a normal situation, because there was an activity going on. If there was no activity going on, they wouldn't have been able to get in. Our employee wouldn't have been
Sure,
there
no,
until
yeah,
probably
yeah.
5-10 minutes
Right.
before they were supposed to get in. So
on
it
the
wouldn't
flip
have been.
side, though, we've had people who are refusing to leave at their end time.
Yeah,
And
I'd
we
like to
do
see
the same
that
thing,
too.
we can take it out.
Yeah,
of
it's
their
hard to
classes.
clarify.
So,
That's also,
you know,
yeah.
But in this situation, what was it? I mean, I know Dan's sitting back there, but people came at 10 o'clock to set up. Is that what it was?
Yeah, they were there ahead of him, but he was the actual renter.
Yeah.
So, and they came
But were
in,
they there for a full 2 hours?
and then they stayed until the activity there. At the end of the class, the instructor had texted Jill and said, hey, you know, the people are here for the rental and your worker's not here yet, and I'm getting ready to leave because I'm cleaning up. And she was slated to end class at 11:30, went a little bit longer by the time she cleaned up. And so we were able to, you know, have that covered that way. So that was, yeah.
Okay, I understand procedurally why we have to do this now.
Right.
I think
Okay.
Wendy's back there probably saying that's how we have to do it, right?
Exactly.
Okay, I understand.
Follow the rules, I say.
Follow the rules, okay.
That's my motto.
Follow the rules.
Good motto.
With that in mind, we move on to the next item, which is the Stewart Park paving.
Yes, this is a project that was included in the 2021 GO bond for the town. We had budgeted $116,000 for the repaving of Stewart Park and adding an accessible kind of sidewalk from the parking lot to the shelter, which currently is just grass in between. So we want to have that accessible route there since we're doing this work. SEH put this together and sought quotes for us, and the lowest one that was responsive, and the memo is there from Jill at SEH, is from Reeve Riley at $107,000 and change. I'm going to ask you and recommend that we award this to Reeve Riley in that amount. I'm going to ask you that you award it though in the not to exceed figure of the $116,000, just because when they dig up asphalt, there's always repairs underneath, and they'll give us a little bit of wiggle room. If there's a little bit of a change order there, I can authorize that because you'll already have given me that authority to go to that $116,000. If it goes something beyond that, we'll have to bring that back if that were to occur. But a lot of times that once they excavate the existing asphalt, there are areas that they need to recompact or add some more stone to make it so the asphalt holds up. So that's why I'm bringing it to you with a recommendation to award it as a not to exceed at the $116,000 figure correctly for that project.
I move we approve the Reeve Riley bid of $107,142.37, and also give our superintendent director the authority to go up to $116,000. And if there's a change order, that number's still even lower than the next lowest bid.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
That's a long motion. Been moved and seconded.
Aye.
Aye.
We have a resolution. This is the fees resolution, I believe, right?
Correct. This is every season that there's a new brochure comes out, we put one of these through because we need to amend our Schedule A for the year. This is our summer program fees and charges. So everything that's in the summer brochure, the State Board of Accounts requires that the board approve all fees. And that's what this document is doing. So we bring this to you with a recommendation seeking approval.
Become a turn it flips.
I move we adopt resolution 2022-01.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the last item is this ASTA parking agreement, which was a new addition to our agenda. I believe we are in agreement that we're going to table this. Table.
Did the attorney look over this?
I did, and I just wanted to point that out. This is something that we received from ASTA as the parking agreement for the Centennial Park parking lots out there. It was forwarded on to Attorney Westland and Attorney Glickland. They both reviewed it. Their suggested changes the company did make and incorporate in this document, which is here. However, we received it just late this afternoon today, and I think that I would agree with you that you may want to look at tabling this, and maybe we consider having in a special meeting sometime in the near future to consider it. That which you guys schedules.
I think that's a good idea. I don't know, you need a formal motion on it.
Yeah.
I move we table, what is it called?
ASTA parking agreement.
The ASTA parking agreement contract until the members of the board have an opportunity to review it. It's just been presented to us 5 minutes before our meeting today.
I'll second it.
Aye.
That is the last item on the agenda.
That is it, unless you would like to try to determine a special meeting if you'd like to, because otherwise it's got to wait all the way till our next meeting, which is May 17th. So,
What's?
to have a
This
special
is a
meeting.
2-minute thing. Unless somebody
Right,
got.
right. I mean, you can even do it at a lunchtime meeting if you'd like, kind of like we used to do our second meetings.
So
First week of May.
It's the May 10th. That would be the next.
I thought, what did they say? May 17th is the next meeting?
It will, just to point out in the agreement that they expect us to take at least 30 days from the time that gets executed to be able to incorporate that. So,
So our next regular meeting is May 17th.
May 17th will be our regular meeting. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So I don't know, I mean, if you want to consider something even in the next week or two, that would be probably my suggestion, just to try to keep the ball rolling. If
I'm okay
your
with
guys'
that.
schedule
Okay with
allows
that.
Get paid.
Lunch thing. I know you have a tight schedule.
Can we brown bag it?
Can you get here, can you golf before you get here?
Yeah, well, as long as the meeting is quick.
Or should we do it at like the 16th hole?
Depends on playing.
That's true.
What is your schedule look like, Mark?
I'm open, I mean, this, obviously, we need 48 hours to notice it, so I mean, if we could look as early as probably this Friday if you wanted to, or I would just suggest maybe early next week
I
sometime.
would go next week.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, this week is.
days work for you guys.
I think you can get a quorum. Sure, just set something early.
Is Dan on vacation or something?
He was coming back today.
Okay.
That's why.
So what about the
Where's
26th?
this?
That's a next Tuesday,
What day?
the 26th. That's before you take off.
Want to try and do it at like a noon,
What day of the week is that?
Tuesday?
26th is
Yeah, that's fine.
Tuesday,
Right here?
keeping it on Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's good.
Are you gonna send us notice?
At noon, yeah.
At noon here?
Yeah, does that work for you, Mike?
Sure.
Okay. We'll note that as Tuesday the 26th as that special meeting. Which is that
We haven't had a
Motion
motion yet.
to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right.
Last discussion.
Last.